Longtime readers will know that I've been a fan of Hitman since Codename 47 first dropped 25 years ago. Its tactical and strategic gameplay, paired with 47's cold and methodical approach to targets, made for an intriguing experience with one of gaming's most distinctive anti-heroes. Much like Agent 47 is an expert at what he does, Feral Interactive have developed a reputation for bringing solid ports to the Nintendo Switch, including Grid Autosport, Company of Heroes, and Hitman Blood Money. Hitman Absolution was their next target, bringing the popular 2012 title to Nintendo's hybrid console. What's it like? Select your loadout, stick to the shadows, and steady your aim as we set our sights on reviewing Hitman Absolution for Nintendo Switch. Hitman Absolution takes a more personal turn for Agent 47, placing him at the center of a story built on betrayal and redemption. After being ordered to eliminate his longtime handler Diana Burnwood, 47 finds himself protecting a mysterious girl named Victoria while uncovering a conspiracy that runs deep within the agency. Unlike the contracts of Blood Money or the sandbox design of later entries, Absolution prefers to deliver a tightly focused mission structure that leans more into cinematic storytelling. Each mission ties directly into an overarching plot and can have several specific sections inside it, including revisiting areas that you've already been to. The story is then further fleshed out with detailed cutscenes between these sections that really help sell the emotional weight of 47's choices. Now, I had forgotten most of the story to Absolution despite putting plenty of hours into it on the Xbox 360, and while it may not be as grounded as World of Assassination on Switch 2, it was a well-written narrative full of mystery and surprises, and honestly had me gripped from start to finish. As mentioned, some missions in Hitman Absolution are divided into smaller sections, and it gives the game a more structured flow than the sprawling sandboxes that the series is known for these days. These substages keep pacing tight, and each encounter itself feels like a self-contained challenge. There's still plenty of ways to eliminate your targets, and experimentation still remains one of the game's strongest traits. In one mission in particular, I was approaching a building where my next mark was waiting, expecting to have to sneak past a small army of guards. Instead, the target made the mistake of stepping out onto the balcony, and I just quietly lined up a shot with my silenced pistol from behind a nearby car, and that saved myself a lengthy infiltration. Of course, subtlety isn't the only option, and there were moments, and plenty of moments, where things went sideways, and rather than restart, I simply embraced the firefight and put 47's sharpshooting skills to work. Sometimes, completion was better than perfection, and while I performed some decent environmental kills or expert assassinations, sometimes a simple gunshot before dispersing into the crowd was called for. Your performance is also constantly being evaluated during gameplay, and each section of a mission carries its own score and rating. Some runs saw me rewarded as a silent assassin, while other times I simply fumbled through the level, tripping alarms and leaving a trail of mistakes and bodies behind me. The scoring system encourages replaying missions to perfect your approach, obviously aiming to be the silent assassin, but it gives that game a layer of longevity even within its more linear design. And it was also nice to see some Easter eggs and wild assassinations make the transition to Switch in one piece. Hitman Absolution takes a clear step up from Blood Money in terms of visuals. Characters are more detailed, environments are filled with more objects and subtle touches like grass and debris, and the visual effects still hold up really well. On the Switch and Switch 2, the visuals remain impressive, although there is minor pixelation due to the resolution. While Blood Money featured large crowds in New Orleans, Absolution expands on that with even more densely populated areas and fully realised worlds, and they actually feel alive. Walking through Chinatown for the first time or sneaking onto a crowded train platform still impresses even by today's standards. It's remarkable to see how well a game over 13 years old maintains its visual impact while running smoothly on Nintendo's hardware. I do have one major pain point though, and that was the on-screen prompts, which I just can't seem to turn off. And they appear in the middle of the screen, and that sometimes broke immersion. There were so many times when a large change cover prompt appeared while I was simply waiting for my target to get within striking range. While the worlds and immersion of Hitman Absolution are right on target, the game unfortunately is not without its issues. The biggest problem is occasional stuttering in certain areas, and that appears to be from the system loading parts of the environment. The frame rate itself seems to remain steady, but the world around 47 will lurch and jolt, particularly when starting a mission. This also sometimes happens mid-level as well, though strangely, it rarely occurs during the high-intensity action sequences. There's also some noticeable level of detail pop-in, especially on the faces of NPCs in crowds, and minor physics glitches have occurred as well. Because these issues, apart from the physics, happen mainly outside of the action, they don't really significantly impact the overall gaming experience. They do make initial entrances into areas feel less polished. Knowing Feral Interactive, these issues will probably be patched out on day one or in the first few weeks of release, but it's worth noting I had them during early access. For my hitmen and hitwomen looking into accessibility, I'm pleased to report that there are plenty of options on offer here. These include aim assists, gyro controls, cover control enhancements, swapping left and right sticks, dyslexia-friendly fonts, and highlighting environmental objects as a visual aid. And it's great to see Feral Interactive continue to offer up unique and varied controller setups, very similar to what they did with Company of Heroes, alongside a strong accessibility suite that helps bring Hitman to a wider audience. At just under $40 Australian, Hitman Absolution offers plenty of gameplay for assassins looking to perfect their craft. And while it features less open-ended gameplay than World of Assassination, its narrative and the variety of ways you can eliminate targets mean you can replay the same mission multiple times and discover new strategies. Feral Interactive are also planning to release Contracts mode in the first quarter of 2026, along with a free upgrade to the Switch 2 version during that same period, adding even more longevity to the experience. Hitman Absolution on Nintendo Switch is a solid and engaging port that proves that the game still holds up more than a decade later. Its cinematic story, variety of assassination methods, and structured mission design make it a satisfying stealth experience, even if those minor performance issues are present. The game rewards experimentation and skill, whether you're sneaking past guards or taking a more direct approach when things go wrong. With the planned Contracts mode and Switch 2 upgrade on the horizon, it's a great time to be a Hitman fan. Now that Feral Interactive have brought Hitman Absolution to the Switch, there's no better time to return to the shadows. Good luck, 47. So, what's it like? Hitman Absolution is a more cinematic take on Hitman Blood Money. I award it a 76 out of 100. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by the publisher, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out whatsitLike.com.au.